Blessings and good morning to you all. I hope that you're doing wonderful. Today is Thursday, and I tried to record a video a few days ago, and actually, I tried recording a video a few minutes ago, and Puzzles, my 4 pound Yorkie, started to bark in the background. And he's only 4 pounds, but he thinks he's a giant. And we have a bay window. And every time somebody walks by, he barks. And so I hope that he doesn't bark again and allows me to finish this video that I've been trying to record for you. I hope you guys are doing really well. I was celebrating my birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to me. And it was wonderful to experience all the beautiful love from family, students, clients, and just the day in general. Delicious food and just the love. And so thank you to everyone. And I wanted to share that gratitude that I feel today by connecting. And also, I get a lot of private messages I after I usually upload a video with comments or questions, and a lot of times I answer those questions individually. But sometimes I am inspired to take some of those questions and turn them into a video. Uh, and today I wanted to do that. I received 2 emails, actually, two different individuals. One who was asking if there's a purging process of negativity that may come up when we're doing shamanic work. And the other one was talking about experiencing bad luck and negativity from the outside, and I put this in quotation, evil energies, you know. I know that I uploaded a video a couple of weeks ago addressing fear, and so I don't want to sound repetitive, but I'm sure that I may have mentioned some of the things that I'm going to mention now. We're powerful creators, and whatever we give our power to, of course, is always going to be present. Or, better said, it is our thought process. What we'll focus on is like a magnet then that starts to magnetize whatever it is that we're placing our attention to. And so there's no exception to that. And if we're focusing on fear, then believe it or not, whether we don't want to experience it, because we're making a deposit into the field of fear, then if there's fear, and there's always love, there's always many things, right? Abundance and prosperity and romance, and we're connecting to that field, and we start to eventually magnetize it. I love to use examples because they kind of bring things home into a new perspective. You know, our creative abilities are, they call it the matrix, and could be compared to a switchboard. If we envision a switchboard, right, there's a lot of different extensions, and a switchboard operator is constantly, or was constantly changing, the position of the connection. And of course, sometimes it was just a switchboard, so, just switching or transferring, I should say, one phone call to an extension, so it was very quick. And then other times she may have, engaged in a longer conversation, so that switch remained in position for a longer period of time. It's a great analogy because we have 10,000 plus thoughts throughout the day, and like the switchboard, we're going in and out from one connection to the next. And thankfully, because we are not spending too much time uh, in a connection, we're just making a small little, you know, tap into that field. But if we were to connect to a switch that's, that we're going to spend some time in, then we're really engaging in that connection. And there you have it. If we're afraid of something, or if we hold something in the space of fear, then by virtue of holding it in place, we are going to start magnetizing it. And so the awareness to know that we have the ability to switch the connection, like the switchboard, is vital to being successful in not having to have those experiences. They are not outside of you, or in other words, they're not outside of your control. They are outside, but you don't need to plug into them. And in truth, everything is vibration. So is there something solid that we should be afraid of? Well, most of the time what we're afraid of exists only in a vibrational state. And it's real for other people. But because something is real for someone, it doesn't mean that it has to become real for you, And I'm referring more to, the fear of evil things or people doing evil things to us. It doesn't matter what people are doing. It does matter if you connect to it, if you give it your power, if you connect your switch to the switchboard, where that's operating from. If you're giving it the power of truth, then it can clearly become part of your experience, but it doesn't have to. And, this is a strong subject because so many people stop themselves from experiencing something much higher, or stop themselves from growing, expanding, from healing, because they hold these beliefs in their foundation, And I want to really emphasize again, because somebody told you they had an experience, or it could have been something brought down from a family tree, great grandmothers who had an experience, who then taught your grandmother, and then your grandmother taught your mother. It doesn't mean that it wasn't real for them, because of course, if they held it as truth, they could have very well magnetized the experience. But it doesn't have to be your truth, and that's where the power of being the observer really comes into play here again. That powerful word, be the observer. We can observe many things, but it doesn't have to become part of our programming, of our foundation, and being an observer is a beautiful thing, attribute, because it also honors that everyone is having a journey. We don't have to get into a place of judgment, of separation, by saying, well, I don't agree with that, or I don't experience that, so it can't be true. Everything is possible. Anything is possible. And the ability to be able to honor that without having to engage is what mastery is about. One of the things mastery is about. And so we need to check ourselves, especially if you're having these kind of experiences, and you have a desire to develop spiritually, to lovingly but powerfully disengage from any cords or any other foundations that don't support, your loving, protective, light state of being. Yes. And as far as purging and its association with shamanic healing, yes, shamanic healing is very powerful. It is transmutation, which is that it releases, is very vibrational, And so, I'm almost hearing like one of those machines that breaks cement. You know, shamanic work can be very powerful and very intense. But its purpose is always to bring healing. And it's not only shamanic work, if we go through a detox, um, a nutritional detox, um, a fasting, if we receive a healing, a light healing, an initiation, an attunement, it's all of these modalities uh, are geared to release, right, toxicity in the mind, body, soul energies. And so it's always possible for us to experience what's called a healing crisis, which is that the body starts to release this residue, debris, and as it does, the body surface can become aware of that and develop um, a cold, can develop diarrhea, uncomfortability in the body. It can create some anxiety, but this is not the norm, because hopefully we, the work, the healing, the reconciliation, the releasing has been done before we go through this process. And so hopefully then the initiation, the activation shouldn't create a healing crisis. But in some rare cases it can. And we just need to know that it's part of the transmutation process. Hopefully, if you are going through that kind of experience, you are working with someone who's loving, who's able to create some guidance, comfort, to let you know that it's okay, and to be able to work with you in isolating um, and understanding what may be occurring. Yes, but it's not to say that we shouldn't pursue shamanic work, or that we shouldn't go to a healing, experience a healing because it's going to do something bad for us. All of these modalities are geared to assist us. Um, and I'm a big advocate, which is why I've written 16 books, that a lot of the releasing work should be a conscious effort, which is pardon letter writing, and allowing yourself to consciously release ill feelings, resentment and anger, because you're moving through the process consciously. And as you're literally releasing and making room for that beautiful light energy to enter. And then when you receive a healing or an initiation or a shamanic healing, there is not, hopefully, that much obstruction. A lot of that energy has already been released through your own willingness, through your own work. And so now the healing experience, the energetic healing experience could be uplifting, can be incredible, and so again, the invitation to be proactive and to know that if you haven't done some degree of healing on your own, then you may encounter some healing crises if you work with a light worker. And it's not that they're doing something wrong, it's that somehow, some way, right, this energy, these blockages have to be released, right? I hope that makes sense, especially to the viewers who posed the question. And I know and trust that, some of us may be very aware of these subjects, on these practices, but it never hurts to be reminded, because sometimes we need to go through the cleansing process again, right? Life happens, and we never outgrow the tools and the practices that have always helped us to get there in the first place. I am going to pull a few cards the new moon energy was intense. Just a few, just to see what the messages for today are. Emotional withdrawal. This is somewhat of, it can be somewhat of a somewhat heavy card, you know. It's about feeling depressed, feeling out of alignment, not being understood, perhaps. Feeling like you need to take some time to isolate, you know, to separate yourself. I can't deny that there is an element of allowing ourselves to go maybe a little bit too deep into depressing or not feeling good about ourselves. And so I'm always an advocate of saying that sometimes we do need to allow our emotions to authentically reveal themselves. You know, it's natural for us not to sometimes feel our very best, to feel sad or disenchanted about something. But the key is not to remain here for too long. To give ourselves the time to honor the emotion, but to also make sure that we don't remain here for too long. Yes? And so if you're feeling withdrawn or with a need to isolate, you know, honor it, but make sure that you don't allow yourself to dig yourself deeper into a state of isolation, depression, and emotional withdrawal. Yes? Let's see if we can figure out why. You know, the authority card in reverse. So if there's a synergy to the reading or connection, which I feel there is perhaps we've withdrawn or felt isolated or disenchanted because there's been aggression or authority figure or someone taking a stance in an aggressive way, you know, not being cooperative, controlling, you know, trying to control. Thank goodness the card is in reverse, which means the situation may have already concluded, found some kind of resolution. But I have to say that this card is also a reminder to take a stance, you know, not to allow others to control you or to use that power over you. We don't need to be aggressive. We need to be assertive and to take a stance. To know that, you know, we don't need to be controlled by anyone because it's an aggressive energy. Yes, okay. One more. Oh, good. A celebration card, something coming into fruition. I can attest to this. I was celebrating my birthday yesterday. Yay. A time for celebration, for unity, for gatherings, to acknowledge something that was completed, some kind of announcement, a reward, perhaps a promotion, or, you know, Valentine's is around the corner, so maybe some proposals, but definitely an energy of celebration, of something to be happy and joyous about. And I'm glad this card came out because those two first cards were pretty heavy, yes? And so take the time to celebrate and be grateful that there's something for you to celebrate, and hold that energy so that you can magnetize more of that, yes? Well, this is going to be a short video. I hope those cards spoke to you in some way. Remember to take a stance and to be assertive, yes, and not to stay too long in that isolation. I am headed to the office for some sessions, but of course, it was really great connecting with you guys. And just a reminder, you guys, the Emergence Retreat in Costa Rica is literally around the corner. And so if you have been considering joining Loon and I, this is the time to make a move. Come out and join us. We have some spaces. it is going to be an amazing experience. So we'd love to have you come out and join us March 31st through, I believe, the 7th in beautiful Costa Rica. And I want to say thank you so very much to my Patreon supporters. Um, Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, it is so humbling to have you support the mystery teachings in that channel. And I love you so very much. I love you all. But I wanted to give a special shout out to the Patreon subscribers. And finally, the Spring Holistic Expo here in the Tri-State area in Staten Island is just 24 days away. Goodness. If you happen to be in the tri-state area and you want to have an amazing experience, a day of amazing workshops and some incredible light workers, make sure to visit me on Facebook or on my events page so you can get details. It is here in Staten Island, March 3rd from 11 to 6 at the Hilton Garden Inn. I hope to see you there if you are in the tri-state area. Yes? And you know, I always leave you with my love, with my light, and with my peace. Thank you so much for your love and support, and I will see you really soon. Have a beautiful day. Love you.